afternoon, welcome to Ewood Park. Today the visitors are Swindon Town, the second division match. Rovers leading the league and Swindon Town in 8th position. Have with me Rovers midfield star Gordon Cowans. Gordon, enforced lay-off last week after the Portsmouth game, the cup game was off. What's it like for a professional footballer when you have an enforced Saturday off?
Well, obviously you miss it, because Saturdays are all about playing football for us. You have the build-up all week, preparing yourself ready for the game, and it's obviously very disappointing when the game's off. Yeah,
because Kenny took the lads down to a hotel in the Midlands in preparation for the Nottingham game, so the plans were pretty meticulous, and then it's all up in the air when the game's off on Friday.
That's right, yeah, we prepared very well for it, going down to Nottingham early and getting the lads together, and we managed to train a couple of days even though the ground was a little bit hard and frozen. So we were well prepared for it, and then to find it was off on a Friday afternoon, as I said, was disappointing.
Yeah, disappointing. Anyway, back to league action today, and the visitors today, Swindon Town, come with the reputation of being a good footballing side and sort of in the image of the manager Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah, which obviously typifies the way Glenn played, really. He was a very good footballer, a very good passer of the ball, and that's the way he wanted his side to play. We've spoke about them in depth, really, about the way they play, and hopefully we'll be able to counteract the way they play.
Obviously, the big danger man is Duncan Shearer, who seems to bang in 20-30 goals a season regularly at second division level.
He's scored a lot of goals, yeah, and obviously, like you're saying, he is a big threat. I think if we can cut his supply off, I think probably the main man that supplies a lot of the balls through to him is Mickey Hazard. So if we can cut his service off from Mickey Hazard, hopefully we'll go a long way to stopping that.
Good. So what about yourself, Gordon? You made the move, apart from your spell in Italy, you've been a one-club man with Villa all your career, and you came to a club, Blackburn Rovers, seemed to be ambitious and hoping to get into the Premier League. Are you happy with the move and settling in nicely?
Yeah, I'm delighted with the move, to be honest. I'm enjoying every minute of it. As you said, I came to an ambitious club, and that was the reason I came here. I wouldn't.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ewood Park. Saturday, February the 1st. Visitors to Blackburn Rovers today are Swindon Town. On the pitch before the game, presentation of an award to Alan Wright. He was voted Barclays Young Eagle of the Month for December. Full-back who came to Blackburn from Blackpool has quickly settled in and made himself a favourite with the fans. A well-deserved award for young Alan, presented by the Barclays representative. Rovers commercial manager Ken Beamish, master of ceremonies. And he holds his award up for the press photographers and gains rich applause from all three sides of the ground holding the Rovers supporters. So down to business. Rovers top of the table, leading the second division, hoping to storm into the Premier League. It's a formative year next year, if indeed it comes about. And Rovers line up in goal: Bobby Mims, Richard Brown and Alan Wright, the full-backs. Gordon Cowans at 4, we spoke to Gordon before the game. Keith Hill and Kevin Moran in the centre of defence. Mickey Reid continues in midfield. Mark Atkins also back after missing the game at Portsmouth. David Speedie, Mike Newell, strike force, and on the left hand side the midfield with Scott Sellers. Rovers substitutes Colin, Hendry and Simon Garner. Swindon line up with a man who's performed heroics at Ewood Park on more than one occasion, Fraser Digby in goal. David Kerslake and Paul Borden reunited as Swindon's impressive full-back pairing. Paul Borden transferred back to Swindon from Crystal Palace early week. Martin Ling at 4, Colin Calderwood and Sean Taylor. Mickey Hazard, the former Tottenham player, number 7, former teammate of Swindon's manager Glenn Hoddle. Duncan Shearer, one of the second division's most potent marksmen. Tom Jones at 9, Ross McLaren at 10, David Mitchell at 11, And the Swindon subs are Sean Close and Nicky Summerby, son of the former Manchester City favourite Mark Summerby, who's here to watch the game today. So that Rovers will, as they prefer, attack the Darwin end in the first half. Swindon were the opponents in Kenny Dalglish's first match, officially in charge of Blackburn Rovers, and ran out winners 2-1 with a late goal scored deep into injury time. Rovers scorer on that day was David Speedie. Since that day, Rovers have seldom looked back. The home form most impressive. Every game under Kenny Dalglish's management at home has been won. Enforced layoff for Rovers last week when the cup game at Notts County was called off. That'll be played in the middle of this week, Tuesday night, down at Meadow Lane. The winners of that game will travel to either Norwich or Millwall for the 5th round. So a slight tactical change for Rovers today. Nicky Reid will be bursting down that right-hand flank of midfield. Mark Atkins in the centre. Craig Skinner and Jason Wilcox omitted from the 13 on this occasion. Two young wingers who've occupied one or other of the flanks. And away we go. Shearer with an early touch back to McLaren. Calderwood harassed by David Speedie. Kevin Moran rolls it back to Bobby Mims to give him an early touch. And Richard Brown gets the throw out from Bobby Mims. David Kerslake remembers the playoff game a couple of years ago down here when Swindon ran out winners 2-1. Came out and stung Rovers with 2 early goals in the second half after the game was goalless at half time. And the fullbacks Kerslake and Baldwin were most impressive going forward on that occasion. Rovers rallied with a late goal from Andy Kennedy, but we went down to Swindon and 2 first half goals saw Rovers promotion hopes disappear. That was 89-90 season. Rovers' 3rd consecutive playoff appearance. Rovers are hoping they won't need the playoffs this year. Here's Richard Brown. Cowans looks for David Speedie. It's a little too high for him. Kerslake's able to tidy that up. Swindon Town hit a little bit of form recent weeks. Last week they went to Cambridge and came away for a cup game, came away with a 3-0 victory. 2 goals for that man Duncan Shearer. They currently stand 8th in the table. They're hoping to at least figure in the playoffs. Cruelly denied the opportunity to play in the 1st division a couple of years ago, Swindon. After that win against Rovers, they went on to beat Sunderland at Wembley. One of the most one-sided playoff finals there's ever been. But of course the off-the-field troubles meant that the Football League demoted them first into the 3rd division at first, and then on appeal Swindon found themselves back where they started in Division 2. Ozzy Ardiles moved on to Newcastle United as manager, but the Tottenham connection was kept up when Glenn Hoddle came back from France to manage Swindon Town. Has appeared in a few games, Glenn Hoddle, before injury got the better of him. Played as a sweeper. Alan Wright. It's easy for Colin Calderwood. There's Mickey Hazard, busy little industrious midfield player. Spurs, Chelsea, Portsmouth among his former clubs. Collins gets a foot in. Mickey Reid penalised for foot too high there. Jones quickly takes the free kick to Kerslake. Cuts in and tries one. Tests Bobby Mims down by the near post. And once again, the Swindon full-back showing his enterprise. Mike Newell. Rovers will be hoping that the rhythm hasn't been too disrupted by the layoff. They went down early to the Midlands before the cup game was supposed to take place at Nottingham. Alan Wright on a burst. Newell. Cowans sweeps it wide to Richard Brown. Plays it first time for Mike Atkins' run. An interception by Scott Sellers. Turns to face goalwards. Looking for Speedie. Calderwood is a tall man. No nonsense challenge from Kevin Moran. Swindon have a throw. Referee wants it taken from the right spot. Tentative early exchanges this game. Many people expecting a classic game today. Two sides that like to play football. Bizarre tangle involving Speedie and Calderwood off the ball there. A free kick given to Swindon. One of the two players fell. A little bit of wrestling going on. Referee wants a word with both players. So it'll be interesting to see how that particular battle develops this afternoon. More immediate problem for Rovers is this free kick which Mickey Hazard is orchestrating. Looks for Taylor. Referee sees a push. Gives Rovers a free kick. Keith Hill takes it quickly to Richard Brown. Mickey Reid bursting up the right wing. But Hazard's back. So for the running, Mickey Reid, he'll run and run all day in that position. One of the fittest players in the league. Even if he didn't like the tie that I had on for the last home game and told me so in no uncertain terms in the 100 Club. Throw out by Bobby Mims. Richard Brown featuring strongly early on. This is Mitchell. And it's definitely a free kick. Swindon Town, Mike Atkins with a foul there. Once again, Mickey Hazard. Cleared by Atkins. Tom Jones. That's for Hazard. Wants to turn with it, but he's harassed by Gordon Cowans. The second time. Rovers come away with it through Speedie. Alan Wright's touch to Scott Sellers. Through a first touch there from Sellers. Cowans has Wright wide on the left once more. Looks for Newell. It's a foot on it, but he's unable to control it. Paul Borden. And another heavy challenge by Gordon Cowans on Tom Jones. Swindon have the free kick. They too want to play it quickly. To his partner, Kerslake. Side for Hazard. Scott Sellers competing for that one. Kerslake comes away with it. Tall figure of David Mitchell. He's gone wide on the right this time. Played up well by Rovers. And Scott Sellers has time to turn here. Perhaps measure a pass, but he's going to run at the defenders. As well, side for Nicky Reid. Tries one. And a useful effort. Nicky Reid isn't the most prolific marksman, but when he does score a goal, it's usually an important one, a winner. Seems to have the knack, coming up with the odd one or two a season. This game taking place today, of course, because Rovers have invested in undersoil heating. Beat the freeze. Pitch lightly sanded, and it looks to be playing very well. Ball not behaving strangely in any way. An ideal setting for two good footballing teams with a good reputation. There's Kevin Moran. Looking for Speedie. Just losing out to Colin Calderwood. Those two have become acquainted with one another. Each of them quite keen to win that tussle. Cowans. Speedie has Sellers making a run to the left. He also has Alan Wright here behind him. Brings in Sellers. Calderwood is there with him. Hazard also going over. Attempted cross beaten down. Scott Sellers looking for a corner. Calderwood in a tight spot. Has to put the ball out of play. Moran with good work there, finding Richard Brown. Loves to stride forward, Richard Brown. Pacey, thrusting runs down the right hand side. Taylor puts it out once more for a Rovers throw. Richard Brown's cross. Headed back in by Atkins. Cowans and Wright exchanging passes. It's in for Atkins. It looked for Scott Sellers to dip into the area there, just misunderstanding. It was a good idea. Well, that's a poor ball. It gives the ball straight to Mike Newell. Finds David Speedie. Terrible error by Swindon in defence. Nicky Reid has Richard Brown going for the line. And he wins the corner off Paul Borden. Gordon Cowans will swing this in with the left foot. Doesn't make the near post, Nicky Reid. On right finds Keith Hill. Reid plays it in. He's out to Newell. Just to chip the cross in. Pressure from Rovers here. Swindon unable to make any headway. Alan Wright on the run. He's tackled out of it. Tom Jones finds Mitchell. Swindon looking to get away down this left-hand side now. Mickey Hazard is out wide. There's Shearer. Brings in Kerslake. Tom Jones is running outside him. Kerslake again into the box. Nobody wanted to bring him down in the box, but he was allowed to progress pretty much unimpaired there, David Kerslake. dangerous moment for Rovers. Martin Ling and Hazard involved here. It will be Hazard. And off a boot of Richard Brown, I think, for a goal kick. For a corner, in fact. Swindon's first goal at Cambridge came from a near post corner. Colin Calderwood, who's in the box at the moment, able to stab home the first goal. This time it's a short one, bringing in Kerslake. Cowans volleys it away. Will be kept in by Borden. Mike Newell, I think, will find himself in the bad books with the referee. Tackle. Whack on the shins for Paul Borden. He's all right. Play continues. Another one of these teams, Swindon, that Rovers have had some real battles with in recent years. Important games. Remember a game down here when Rovers nearly went up, 1977-88, 0-0. The most exciting 0-0s you could ever see that night. Fraser Digby denied everything Rovers threw at him. What's he going to do this time? Is he going to have to show his paces? He's not, because Scott Sellers is crowded out there in the centre circle. And it's Swindon going forward with Hazard. Tom Jones. Ross McLaren sweeps it wide to the other side. Kerslake once more. This time he has two men covering him. David Speedie gets the tackle in. So Swindon a throw. 15 minutes gone, no score. David Speedie showing his determination once more. A free kick to Rovers. There's a nice quiet lad off the field, David Speedie, but once he gets that shirt, shorts, socks and boots on, like a man possessed, so competitive. It's a lovely ball from Scott Sellers. Alan Wright is in round the back here. Cross out by Calderwood. Cut out by Calderwood for a corner. Taken short to Cowans. Cowans once more. That's the blast one. And two between Sellers and Mike Newell. Keith Hill has made a good run here. And forces the first save from Fraser Digby. Intelligent play by Keith Hill. And he didn't panic in the situation. Sometimes defenders find themselves in those spots, but Keith Hill knew what he wanted to do. Saw the chance, tried to side foot it past Digby. Swindon keeper reacted well. It's the most clear-cut chance of the game so far. Captain's just manages to get it to Alan Wright. Mike Newell run deep into Swindon territory. Cross from Newell, headed out. Hard-working player, Mike Newell. Richard Brown gets his body in the way. McLaren. Martin Ling on the edge of the box. Important foot in from Keith Hill and then Richard Brown. Keith Hill looks for Mike Newell, but overhits that pass. Once again showing a bit of vision, Keith Hill, footballing brain. He's been impressive in recent weeks, keeping Colin Hendry on the sidelines at the moment. That's a major achievement in itself. Good work from Nicky Reid there, tidying up. Gordon Cowan's just marshalling the ball back to Bobby Mims. Swindon move breaks down. Lovely ball from Cowans. Alan Wright. Keeps it in. Plays it through. Mike Atkins was on her own. David Speedie joined him later. Probing away Alan Wright, looking for the opening. Good header from Mitchell. Martin Ling is in here. Oh, an excellent save from Bobby Mims. There's a real opportunity for Swindon. So, important saves at both ends of the field. Martin Ling, at one point there, looked like he might be going down, and possibility of a penalty, but he saw the opportunity for a shot. Kerslake again, deep into Rovers territory, but he's lost it, and Rovers are breaking away here with Sellers. And they have Alan Wright spare. Mike Atkins, first time cross from Reid. Keep it going wide, shouts somebody from the Swindon bench. Jones has Martin Ling once again, the spare man up forward, but he made a mess of that. Mike Newell penalised, using the arm there when he jumps up with Sean Taylor. Hazard. And once again, Martin Ling with a chance. The young man has found himself a couple of promising situations, but Bobby Mims once again reacted well. Was out to grab the ball before Martin Ling could think about putting a shot in. A couple of gaps appeared in Rovers' defence there. Won't please Kenny Dalglish and Ray Hartford. David Speedie penalised. Nil-nil. Cold day at Ewood Park, but the pitch playing reasonably. Cowans controls that free kick on the chest, finds Sellers. Alan Wright looking for Mike Newell, and he wasn't very far from getting a touch to that. Fraser Digby out smartly. Swindon trying to prod a man through again there, but Nobody made the run this time. Gordon Collins was able to sweep up. Newell flagged offside. Mutters of disgruntlement from the Riverside inhabitants. Swindon brought only a moderate following today. The season really hasn't taken off. Well, that's right to the byline. He had to hurry his cross, and he collided with a photographer for his pains. Rovers have a corner. Collins with it, drives it, gets a touch from a Swindon defender, beats everybody, even those at the back post. Mike Newell collects it. Does extremely well. There's Brown. Collins once more, and a bad tackle by David Mitchell. Gordon's Collins' cross found its way into Fraser Digby's arms, but he was challenged late. So it's a free kick. Speedie. Rovers tried a little set piece there that they no doubt worked on in training, but David Speedie's touch just found its way through to the keeper. Long ball from Calderwood. Sellers finds Nicky Reid. To Speedie, no foul. Hazard has Bowden wide, cut out by Keith Hill. Collins, who's having a good game, finds Alan Wright. Mike Newell turns. It's Nicky Reid. Gordon Collins' ball that time cut out by Bowden before it could reach Mike Newell. 25 minutes gone. Not a great deal of goal-mouth incident, just the chance for Keith Hill. And Rovers went forward, and Martin Ling a couple of times found himself bursting into the Rovers box. Denied by Bobby Mims twice. Reid finds Newell. He's soon closed down. Collins, with a minimum of fuss, delivers it to Alan Wright. His run is a good one. Nearly fell for Scott Sellers then. He just got it trapped underneath him. Couldn't dig it out. That was a good burst by Alan Wright. Jones finds Bowden. Tries to get the cross in first time, but it's too far away from his body, and he was unable to prevent it from sailing out into the Blackburn end. Alan Wright, more good work from the Barclays Young Eagle of the Month. Collins looking for Mike Newell, as ever a willing runner. Richard Brown trying to play it inside for Nicky Reid. He gets a second bite. And Fraser Digby could only palm the cross into the path of Scott Sellers under challenge from David Speedie. Scott Sellers attempted lob into the net there, just took the deflection to take it out for a corner. Cowan takes it quickly to Sellers. Is it a good cross? Nicky Reid, last one, Keith Hill. Keith Hill fires it wide. Quick thinking there once again. Nicky Reid's shot was deflected into his path and he swiveled round. With Keith Hill scoring similar sort of goal against Sheffield Wednesday last year to win the game for Rovers. In the middle of a bad spell, they managed to beat Sheffield Wednesday, who were one of the better sides. Second division last season. Atkins. He's does well, but didn't play the ball where Nicky Reid wanted it. Swindon in trouble again here as David Speedie collects that. And Richard Brown telegraphed that one to Mickey Hazard. Makes amends, Richard Brown, heading that cross safely back to Mims. Right inside for Cowans. Atkins. Good skill by Mike Atkins to thread it through to Mike Newell. Ross McLaren. Paul Borden is in some space on the left if Martin Lynn can find him. Richard Brown closing him down well. Borden's cross volleyed out by Keith Hill. Mark Atkins calmly collects it. For Scott Sellers. Scott Sellers with the run, but tackled at the end by Borden. Got the ball all the way back to his keeper, Hazard. Sean Taylor, young defender. Mitchell is chasing this to the line, gets a crossover. Tom Jones. Out from Brown, but only as far as Hazard. Promising moment for Swindon there. Hazard once again looks for Shearer. Brown will come away with this. Finds Gordon Cowans. David Speedie. Sean Taylor penalised, perhaps a little harshly there, won the ball. Keith Hill as well there, good defending. Richard Brown looking for David Speedie. Fraser Digby is off his line. And David Speedie just unable to get that one on target. He was facing the wrong way. He waited for that ball to drop down to him. Hooked it over his shoulder. They got a touch off a Swindon defender. It's a corner. Just bobbled agonisingly past the post. Quick break from Rovers. Cowans with the corner. Near post again. Speedie attempts the volley. And Martin Ling here has absolutely nobody with him. He'll have to wait for support. got that ricochet from Alan Wright's pass. Here's Shearer, and for once, lethal marksman fires that opportunity straight at Bobby Mims, but that was a worrying moment for Rovers there. Swindon broke, Martin Ling was all on his way, all on his own. When the support arrived, Swindon still had a man spare, but Rovers have David Speedie now, burning down into the area. Once again, it just wouldn't bounce up into the right place for David Speedie. He had to improvise a little, try and dink one into the far corner. Once again, one of these little spells where chances has fallen at both ends in the space of a couple of minutes. There's a lot of thoughtful football being played out there, not much welling it down the middle a la Cambridge. Hazard. Hill's header. Collins, who's ever more impressive in that midfield. Richard Brown looks for Scott Sellers once more. Fraser Digby drops it. Dropped it outside the area and he had to kick the clearance. Kevin Moran does well to force Duncan Shearer out there. And David Speedie just offside. Taylor for Swindon. Keith Hill does well, Mickey Reid. Sick back from Mickey Reid, Keith Hill. Speedie for Reid once more. Good stuff from Rovers. Mike Newell's in now. It's good constructive football. Sellers finds Richard Brown. Mike Newell. Is it back for Reid to cross in? Sellers. Alan Wright finds David Speedie. Calderwood, as ever, right by him. Rovers playing it across the midfield, looking for an opening. Not the best ball Gordon Cowans has played today. Here's Hazard, he's trying to do a similar job for Swindon to what Gordon Cowans is doing for Rovers. Generalissimo in the midfield, orchestrating the play. It's good work by Mark Atkins. Newell for Scott Sellers. Richard Brown is advancing down the right. Sellers plays him in, but Borden just gets a yard ahead of him. It's Tom Jones. Mike Newell. Some mutterings of impatience from the Rovers crowd, but it's good possession football. Collins knocks it into a space for Speedie to chase, but excellent work from David Speedie. It looked like a no-hope ball, but he made it into a situation from which he won a throw-in. Speedie with the cross, first time. Hazard as well, under a bit of pressure from Nicky Reid. Just a turn away from the trouble. Ross McLaren now. Swindon look to get forward to Kerslake. It's off Nicky Reid for a corner. Might just have been a little nudge there on David Mitchell from Richard Brown as he looked to get a header in from that cross, but very rarely a penalty is given for that sort of thing. And it's a dangerous one across the front of the Rovers goal. Kerslake with the shot. Jones. Oh, brilliant save from Mims, but it's forced in by David Mitchell. Swindon take the lead. Rovers didn't clear the corner, the ball came out to Tom Jones, fired the shot in. Bobby Mims did ever so well to save it, but it fell into the path of David Mitchell, who squeezed it in from a tight angle, did well. So Rovers find themselves in a rare situation of being a goal down at Ewood Park. Determined work from Newell, right with the cross. Richard Brown. Kevin Moran. Rovers looking to step up again now, get back in on level terms. David Speedie's ball is cut out by Borden. Shearer's all on his own. Rovers should clear this up. Alan Wright does well. The Rovers fans trying to get behind them. Atkins. Good tackle from McLaren. So 39 minutes gone, Rovers found themselves one down. Swindon just killing a bit of time here. They'll be more than overjoyed with that scoreline. Rovers will be looking to really move up again. There's been some interesting football played, some thoughtful football, but might just have lacked a spark of passion so far. But the Rovers should have no trouble now finding that. Scott Sellers offside. Lansman was quite correct in that instance. Two dissenting voices beneath me in the stand, but Scott Sellers ran back from an offside position. A couple of minutes to go to half-time. Rovers would dearly like to achieve parity by then. Brown. There's Martin Ling. Swindon advancing again. He's the goal scorer, Mitchell. Tom Jones. Oh, nearly a horrendous error by Bobby Mims, but he just redeemed himself. The ball dropped just underneath him. Luckily there wasn't anybody from Swindon on hand to put that in. Saw Chris Pearce make a wretched mistake last week on the television, the Burnley derby game. That one would have caused Bobby Mims a few nightmares had it gone in. As it is, Rovers have still only one down. That would have been a terrible blow to go 2 goals down. Cowans. The referee signals quite early that the first half comes to an end. And he's missed a fair chunk of that off, at least a minute and a half still to go, but the upshot is that with that goal on 39 minutes by David Mitchell, Swindon Town lead Blackburn Rovers by 1 goal to 0.
Number 10 scored.
Number 11. Yeah, Mitchell. Yeah. To get back into this game as soon as possible. Dropped 2 points at Portsmouth a fortnight ago when we conceded a couple of goals in the last 12 minutes. Everybody here, of course, hoping for 3 points today, so Rovers will be wanting to equalise as soon as possible. Mike Newell with the flick. Speedie going through. Colin just doing enough to put the Rovers striker off his shot. Fraser Digby collects, but that's promising. Rovers right at it, right away in the second half. They must be wary of letting Swindon get anything else at the back. The enthusiasm to press forward. Here's Newell. It's a bad ball by Brown, but Newell gets it once more. Scott Sellers. There's Alan Wright outside him. Ever willing to make those runs forward, Alan Wright. Sellers once more. Speedie got a touch. Claims it might have been a handball from Colin Calderwood. Just couldn't force enough power into that effort. Some good moments early in the second half for Rovers. Look like they're on the job. Speedy leaping with Ross McLaren. McLaren coming off best in that time. There's Ling. Shearer. Quite game, Duncan Shearer, but he did have one gilt-edged chance. Fired at Bobby Mims. Chris Lake inside to Hazard. Martin Ling slipping there, allowing Alan Wright to gather that. Nicky Reid. Brown, some space to gallop into. He plays in the cross early. Speedy gets the touch. Hazard with the clearance. Offside flag. It's a poor ball. Throw into Rovers. David Kersley didn't have a price of getting that one. Skipper Kevin Moran. Gordon Cowans. Rovers, pick of the Rovers men in the first half, I thought. Referee wanted Swindon to get on with it. Right in. She Brown as well. Kevin Moran kicks a calm head then. Sellers forward for Speedie. And the Riverside crowd outraged by that decision. Did seem to me that David Speedie made up a few yards on his marker. Got round the back. Linesman defiantly standing with his flag raised. And the other linesman joining in the fun. Flags down Duncan Shearer though. Kevin Moran looking for Newell. More direct approach from Rovers a couple of times this half. Right. Far post cross for Speedie. Headed out by Taylor. Corner to the blue and whites. Gordon Cowans with it. And it just dropped kindly for Fraser Digby. He missed the initial cross. Nobody was able to direct it goalwards. Fell kindly into his hands. Good distance on the clearance from Digby. Tricky moment for Keith Hill. David Mitchell fancy getting on the end of that. Neil plays it back to Scott Sellers, but can only win a throw in that situation. Kevin Moran looking for a run or an opening. Good work by Cowans. Sellers. Challenged by Nicky Reid on Sean Taylor as he cleared that ball. Some determined work from Rovers here. Throw in. Won by Mike Newell. Ball decision. Rovers quickly take the free kick. Scott Sellers. Alan Wright does well to retrieve that one. And wins a corner. Takes it short to Gordon Cowans himself. Matt Newell on the back post. Back in. And a glancing header there from Scott Sellers of all people. Deflected out once again for the corner. Real pressure from Rovers. Crowd roaring their encouragement. One count, swings it over. Kevin Moran with the header. Harmlessly wide. Efforts appreciated by the crowd. Rovers battle to get back on level terms. Reid. Foul by Moran. Swindon have a free kick. Chance to gather their thoughts. Took a bit of a pounding the last 5 minutes or so from Rovers. Kerslake gets past Sellers. But not Alan Wright. Brilliant work. Sets up Scott Sellers to come away with it. Gordon Cowans takes over. There's Richard Brown. Speedie wants it played into the box. It's for Nicky Reid. Brown once more. There's meat and drink to the Swindon defence. Newell with the header, an offside flag again. A linesman on the far side seems most keen to get involved this half. Mystery decisions. Hazard. Tom Jones, as Paul Bowden making a great run. Ooh, the cross looked like it might end up on Duncan Shearer's head. Confusion between Bobby Mims and Kevin Moran. Skipper is all right to continue, but just a moment's worry for Rovers there. Gordon Cowans trying to create something coming forward once more. Moran. Alan Wright. Speedie wanted it played there and just snuffed out by Colin Collingwood's header. Foul by Moran on Shearer. Hazard. Headed by Keith Hill. Newell turns, finds Keith Hill once again. Side for Scott Sellers. That's a poor ball from Sellers. You expect better than that from player of Scott Sellers' ability. Richard Brown looking for the front runners once more. Rovers need to get a footing back into this game, but Swindon are coping with everything at the moment. Jones. Swindon using up valuable seconds with this movement down the left-hand side. The ball's in Rovers half, they're in no danger. Ling. Kerslake. This time Sellers read it correctly. Newell steps over it, lets Scott Sellers continue on his run. Cowans. Rovers looking for a corner there, but the linesman this time didn't want to raise his flag. I find that Fraser Digby kept the ball in play. Rovers have it back with Richard Brown, Atkins and Sellers. Cowans for Alan Wright. Gordon Cowans spotted the goaler off his line, swung the cross round, but Fraser Digby collected it comfortably enough in the end. Here's Ling. McLaren. Borden. Shearer and Richard Brown competing for the loose ball there. Mitchell gets a header down. Keith Hill has to clear smart there. Swindon will have a throw in. Kerslake's throw. Sellers. Bobby Mims throws it out to Richard Brown. Looking for an accurate ball here. Newell. Wins a free kick. The edge of the penalty box. Signals indirect free kick for obstruction. Some discussion here between the referee and Scott Sellers and Gordon Cowans. Sellers with it, far post. Right. Richard Brown. Alan Wright plays it back into the box. Kerslake's clearance will find touch. Colin Hendry warming up. Cowans looks for Newell, gets their flick on. Colin climbing all over Speedie. The referee not seeing anything illegal in that challenge. Right. Runs into trouble rather, Alan Wright there. Swindon have a chance to break. Good work by Richard Brown to dispossess Shearer. Scrappy play in the middle. Mickey Reid looking to calm it down now. Finds Gordon Cowans. Alan Wright. Sellers inside for Cowans once more. Lovely little touch. Gives himself a bit of space. Speedie. Looking to get Atkins in. Kerslake. The referee gives Swindon a free kick. Gordon Cowans was trying to get a foot in while he was on the ground. Free kick given. Hazard and Kerslake. Good move that. Kerslake with the cross. Useful set piece. David Kerslake made the dummy run and then received the ball from Mickey Hazard. Far post cross was snuffed out eventually. Here's Atkins. A double substitution about to take place now. Mike Newell and Nicky Reid, the men, coming off. On come Colin Hendry and Simon Garner. Should be interesting to see how Rovers formation goes here. Looks like Mark Atkins is going back to... No, Colin Hendry taking up a forward position at the moment. Touch. Brown trying to work his way into the box. Poor stuff that. Misunderstanding between Brown and Sellers. Mark Atkins in well, but only forced the ball out of play for a Swindon throw. Hendry's lay off for Brown. So Richard Brown. Not too accurate with the pass. Here's Alan Wright. Looking for Hendry. Got the touch, but nobody coming into the box. If ever an inspirational figure was available to try and get Rovers' spark firing again, no better man than Colin Hendry. Really personifies the spirit of the club, Colin Hendry. The most popular players that's played down here many years. Morton. Looks for Garner. It's the nod down to Atkins. Tried one, well wide. Colin Hendry took a hopeful foot out. Richard Brown. Mark Atkins gone out onto the wide right hand side of midfield. It's just not firing for Rovers at the moment. The moves are breaking down. Swindon are looking reasonably comfortable. This 1-0 lead. 20 minutes gone in the second half. Swindon Town 1. Rovers 0, Swindon Town 1. Ling back to Kerslake. Header from Mitchell. Ling swings the cross in. It's Mark Atkins comes away with. Sam McGonagall chasing hopefully, but the ball's out of play for a throw. Bit of time wasting there from Swindon, taking the time with the throw in. Gordon Cowans. Garner. Colin Hendry tries the 1-2. His touch is too heavy. It's a Swindon goal kick. Kevin Moran is awarded a free kick. Fairly challenged there by Shearer. So Rovers need to be getting something fairly soon, as they could be staring at home defeat in the face here. Interesting ball from Kevin Moran to Brown. Things just not gelling at the moment. Hazard goes all the way back to Fraser Digby. Brown penalised. Over enthusiastic challenge there. Desperate to get the ball back. Get Rovers moving forward again. Swindon have the free kick. Borden swings across in. It's cleared by Moran, but only as far as Mitchell. Kerslake. To Jones. To Alan Wright. Sellers. Finds Gordon Cowans. Speedie. To the box for Colin Hendry. And a bad challenge by Colin Hendry on Fraser Digby. He could be spoken to by the referee there. Colin Hendry escapes with a lecture. Fraser Digby doesn't seem to be suffering any ill effects. Well done by Richard Brown. Watched that one all the way. Was able to turn with it. Very athletic footballer. Keith Hill looking for Colin Hendry's head. Finds its way to David Speedie. Tries to tee up a volley from Hendry. That's a little over elaborate because away comes Swindon now with Ling. As well, finds Jones inside him. Mitchell, Swindon not exactly throwing men forward. 5 stood back on the halfway line, but here's Mitchell. Cross is just too deep. Shearer wins it back from David Speedie. Fires in a low one, Bobby Mims collects it. Richard Brown, Mark Atkins, always looking for this opening, get them back in level terms in this game. We have Alan Wright moving forward now. Tosses one in. Colin Hendry turns and fires in the equaliser. Oh, the man is just an inspiration. The knockdown. Colin Hendry had to swivel and turn. Fraser Digby, no chance as the ball. Colin swiveled round and hammered it to the corner. Rovers have about 18 minutes to look for a winner, as they do Swindon. Must be careful in their enthusiasm. Simon Garner tried to find Colin Hendry at the far post. The cross. Work by Alan Wright. Rovers really got the bit between their teeth now. Well, that goal can spur them forward to greater things. Sellers. Richard Brown, work by Scott Sellers, waited patiently. Colin Hendry. Cowans. Hendry was fouled on the edge of the box. Rovers have a free kick. A promising position here. Defender climbing all over Colin Hendry's back. So what can Rovers produce here? David Speedie clearing the penalty area of toilet rolls. Cowans tries one. Linesman up with his flag again for an offside decision. Swindon making a substitution. Swindon danger man Duncan Shearer coming off. Hasn't really looked potent important force that we all know him to be today. He's replaced by Sean Close. So plenty of time left for this game to find a winner yet. It's all squared at 1-1. Hendry with the header forward. Speedie. Alan Wright's header, Scott Sellers. Is it back to Wright? Colin Hendry. Wright again, up the line, nobody there. Scott Sellers gets it. And looks for Colin Hendry again. Sniffed out on that occasion, but Colin Hendry, such a trier. Really endeared himself to Rovers fans. They straight away when he came down from Dundee, played in the full Members' Cup game. More or less straight down and put on a blue and white shirt, went out and played centre half that night. And the Rovers fans loved him right from the start, and it's a love affair that's continued ever since, even when he was away at Manchester City. Everybody hoped that he'd one day come back here. She's done, and he scored a vital goal today. Half an hour of the second half gone. Referee wanting Swindon to get on with it. An useful break here from Borden. Swindon threatened once more. A brave header by Keith Hill. Bobby Mims. Rovers looking for this winner. David Speedie sitting a little bit back behind the front two now. Simon Garner and Colin Hendry occupying the forward berths. Swindon playing it around at the back. Sellers does well, nutmegs Jones, finds Gordon Cowans. Mark Atkins has a look, checks that Richard Brown's outside him. Brown flicks it forward to Hendry. Oh, what a good effort that was. Tried to volley it over the advancing Fraser Digby. Got the touch, but couldn't quite match the accuracy. Stretching full length, out for a goal kick. Back forward by Wright. Hendry looking to get on the end of it again. Here's Speedie. Oh, what a goal from David Speedie! Magnificent effort. Knockdown, collecting the knockdown on the edge of the box. That was a magnificent goal. '16th of the season, 15 of them in the league. Colin Hendry. And a free kick given for Speedie's challenge, as Mark Atkins thought he was on a burst through. So Swindon find themselves 2-1 down. 10 minutes to go. Oh, that was an absolutely thrilling goal from David Speedie. Sat back between the front two, thrust into the box. And nothing was going to stop him from his ultimate task of scoring a goal to put Rovers 2-1 in the lead. But here's Swindon, trying desperately to get back in the game. Only Ross McLaren back. Simon Garner will harass him all the way. Alan Wright, maybe a little bit fortunate to win the goal kick off Sean Close. Well, the Rovers fans electrified by those two goals from Colin Hendry and David Speedie. Keith Hill manages to find Scott Sellers. Swindon having to press forward now. Rovers are looking for another one. Would make this game safe. Swindon have played their full parts in a... Simon Garner just misreading Alan Wright's intentions there. At least the ball is deep into Swindon territory. Now an inspired double substitution from Kenny Dalglish. Colin Hendry came up with the equaliser, and then David Speedie coming from a little deeper perhaps. Possibly not Rovers' most dominating performance of the season today, but they've been up against a useful side. They're quite capable of playing good football and holding the ball for long periods themselves. And as it stands at the moment, Rovers lead them 2-1. David Speedie once more. Brown, Scott Sellers, Rovers knocking it about now. Gordon Cowans in no hurry. Rovers playing it all the way back. Curtis Lake, Swindon with about 6 minutes to try and retrieve something from this game. The most threatening marksman, Duncan Shearer, has been substituted. The other substitute, Nicky Summerby, is about to appear in place of Ross McLaren. Swindon's last throw of the dice. was Lake's throw. Taylor challenging Kevin Moran. Kerslake looking to find someone inside. He's found Tom Jones. Somerville with his first touch. Kerslake with the cross. Played back to Jones. And the shot is a poor one. Colin Hendry caught offside. Vital seconds being eaten up here. Nice cushion of a third goal would be nice, but Rovers don't want to throw too many men forward and leave themselves exposed at the back. They've done the hard work here in clawing their way back into this game, getting into the lead. David Speedie is injured. Will be requiring some attention from Mike Pettigrew here. The referee decides his injuries merit such. He's up. Maybe a bit. I would hate to suggest that David Speedie was capable of a bit of gamesmanship, but who knows? Kerslake. It's cleared by Moran. Swindon will press as hard as they can for what remains of this game now, 2 or 3 minutes. Try and get back level. They have men at the far post here. And Bobby Mims has to very smartly tip that over the bar. It's a corner to Swindon. Bobby Mims gets a fist to that. Scott Sellers nearly put him back into trouble, but Bobby Mims able to collect that. And the final whistle blows. Rovers run out winners, 2-1. Swindon led at half-time to that goal by David Mitchell. Rovers fought their way back to get on level terms, double substitution. Colin Hendry with the equaliser. And the winner, brilliant solo goal from David Speedie. Give this game a final scoreline. Blackburn Rovers 2, Swindon Town 1. Thrilling finale to that game, and Rovers running out 2-1 winners. I've got with me squad member Alan Irvine. I'm going to ask him a few questions. Alan, we really had to graft for that win today, didn't we?
Yes, it was obviously a very difficult game. Swindon are undoubtedly one of the best sides in the second division, and to come away with a win at the end of a game which obviously was going the wrong way for a long time was a great result.
Yeah, I thought we showed a lot of character because things have been going fairly well, particularly at home, and to come back from a 1-0 deficit, and there were periods in the game where we didn't really look like we were going to get back into it, but the substitution seemed to spark off a revival.
Yes, that's right. Obviously in recent weeks the games have ended up being very easy victories. Today was obviously an exception to that. Swindon, as I said, are a very good side, and it was a great result for us.
This character Colin Hendry, he just seems to, he's like Ian Botham in the cricket world. He just seems to write his own scripts, doesn't he? He comes on like Roy the Rovers and fires the equaliser in.
Well, that's right. Obviously Colin he's been signed as a centre half, but it's nice to have the bonus that you can throw him on up front and know that he's going to make some things happen, and that's what happened today. Yeah,
and the other week, did you see the sitter he missed in the reserves on the other Wednesday night against Sunderland? He missed an open goal, and then he goes and scores one like that today.
Well, I know which one I'd prefer him to score, that's for sure.
Yeah, he got the important one. Anyway, 3 points for Rovers, top of the league. It's looking good now, Alan, for the running.
Well, obviously we've been doing very, very well up until now. it's important to keep that going. Certainly plenty of games left to play, and if we can keep playing as well as we have been playing, then I don't see any reason why we shouldn't.
Many thanks for talking to us, Alan. So there we have it, the views of Alan Irving there. We spoke to Gordon Cowans before the game, and what an excellent game it proved to be. Swindon took the lead through David Mitchell just before half time. Rovers fought back into it with goals from substitute Colin Hendry and a magnificent individual goal from David Speedie, which proved to be the winner. Rovers 2, Swindon 1, and Rovers staying in pole position at the top of the second division. Thank you.